it just keeps getting better for Montreal with all the hype around Laine and Dach and all these other prospects. It's Oliver Kapanen, another, well, if you're paying attention, maybe not so much a sleeper, but a bit of a sleeper prospect on the grand scheme of things. Absolutely dominates for Montreal, looking like one of the best players on the ice, and now Habs fans are calling for him to make the team over guys like Dvorak. There's an incredibly difficult decision coming for Coach Martin St. Louis. We got to get into that. Plus, Jesse, Martin St. Louis himself had some incredible praise for Patrik Laine. Some of those comments have us getting pretty excited. And, well, we also got to dive into another lineup battle that has some Habs fans pretty riled up from last night, so you're not going to want to miss any of that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. And we're going to start with that other lineup debacle. And it's an interesting decision. Maybe not as, I don't know if I want to say the Kapanen stuff's going to be controversial, but we'll get into that later. Stick around for that. But I want to start, Jesse, with, well, two guys who were on the top two lines last night. And that's Alex Newhook and Joshua Roy. Now, Alex Newhook, I thought looked pretty solid with Dach and Laine, but Jesse, I was seeing a lot of fans saying that Dach and Laine kind of looked like they were doing their own thing, while Newhook's style of play didn't match up with them, while Joshua Roy was very methodical, which kind of matched up with Laine and Dach, and maybe that could be the trio going forward. Roy looked better than Newhook last night, which I would probably agree with, so maybe we go with that. But Jesse, I'm going to get your thought on this, and before you guys even listen to this, let us know down below what your thoughts are on Dach versus Newhook, not Dach versus Newhook, Newhook versus Roy, who should be on that second line. Jesse, I'm a person right now who wants to say keep Roy with Anderson. We've seen Anderson look better than he's looked in a while with Joshua Roy on his wing. Plus, I think Newhook, Dach, Laine, that's a line with a ton of rust, a ton of time that can get better together. What do you think?
Joshua Roy is unlocking Josh Anderson. In fact, this wasn't even Josh Anderson's fault, the reason he was so stick-bit. He just needed to play with Joshua Roy.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe we're taking a little bit of too much responsibility away from Josh Anderson, but I think that absolutely that Roy just makes other players around him even better. I'm okay with him on the third line for really providing a little bit more of that scoring punch on that third line. And if you can help Anderson at the same time, like it wasn't just in this preseason game, but it was also in the scrimmage, right? The other side of this coin is Newhook. And I definitely get the debate and everything. Like everybody knows I've been a big fan of Joshua Roy for a long time, but you kind of need a combination of different things on these lines. Like I would say that Newhook brings a little bit more grit in his game than a Joshua Roy does. You know, so you have Laine, you have Dach, and I think with Newhook, it's a little bit of that grit there that they kind of provide, where it's like having three just purely skilled players, which I wouldn't call Roy like just a purely skilled player, but still that's more of his thing. He plays more of a skill game. I think that sometimes just having three skilled players isn't always the best sort of line combination. I've made a previous point that like on every line, and even with our defensive pairings, you're going to have that skill, but also a little bit of grit, whether it's Slav, whether it's a Newhook, you know, Anderson kind of providing on the third line. You know, we got Gallagher on the fourth line, of course, doing that. Having this combination is so huge. It's not just with defensive pairings where you kind of want to match offense and defense, skill and grit. It's really on all your lines. You want to have an identity because this is hockey after all. It's a skillful game, but there's a lot of hits and you really need that grit as well. So I think like there was a great example last night of where Newhook with his speed, he's the first one to get to the puck. Big body Dach comes in and then lays out Bonk, who's a big player himself. That was absolutely unreal, right? Only for Lane Hudson to scoop up the puck and very generously pass it to Laine for a shot in the slot. A very good chance to score there. But again, with Newhook, with that grit, mixing up with that foot speed, it kind of helps to complement those skill guys there as well. So for me, I think there is definitely going to be some fluidity there. I think Joshua was definitely going to get his chance to shine, but I'm okay with the lines as they are right now.
Yeah, I think it fits very well where he is now. And yeah, I think in the future he could be even better. But yeah, I think it's just going to take some time. You got to give these guys some time. They're, you know, Dach and Laine, their first games in ages and ages. And you put him with Newhook, a guy who is known to have lightning fast speed. And, you know, you're going to have a bit of a disconnect sometimes. But I think those styles of play work really well together. But let us know down below. We're seeing a lot of people who say Joshua Roy deserves to be on the second line, maybe for some preseason games, maybe the regular season. We'd love to hear what you guys think, but we're going to quickly move on to the next topic. And I got to talk about Laine himself, Jesse. You know, there were some awesome quotes from Martin St. Louis just today. Well, I guess yesterday. This came from Eric Engels, who posted this on Sportsnet, the full article. I'll link it down below. I think this came from the post-game section, but my goodness, just have a look at what Martin St. Louis had to say. Not often you hear this. I didn't know what was happening when Laine touched the puck and you heard the cheers for the first time. I wasn't focusing on the puck. I always look away, and then I turned back and he had the puck and I realized what was happening. I grew up watching Guhle, and that was a little bit of that, which is insane to hear. But he went on to say that you look at Patrik's resume and you know his career was trending upward. I know sometimes he hit some bumps along the way, and for us, we're trying to get that thing going back up again, Jesse. Patrik Laine had 5 shots on goal, 9 shot attempts. He had some filthy mitts. The first time he touched the puck, he went end to end, and it looked like he was walking as he flew by every single Flyers skater. There was an it factor with Laine last night. Every single Habs fan saw it. That rust, maybe it was there a little bit, but it sure wasn't evident when you were watching him playing. But to hear that kind of praise, to even have your name be put in the same sentence as Guhle, just shows how much the Habs organization and Martin St. Louis have faith in Patrik Laine moving forward.
Going back to our dynasty days here, huge praise. I thought we were going to kind of ease Laine into his role slow and steady, but you know what? If Martin St. Louis is here for, I'm here for the hype. Patrik Laine is that guy for sure. And that's why we love being Montreal Canadiens fans, is how intelligent the crowd is, like how they react to the games, things they see, oh, what's a penalty, what's not, what's a good play. That first move that Laine did, kind of cross in center ice, that first, let alone that first move, he left the Flyers defender basically eating his dust, watching the play, wondering what happened, what's going on in his life, because he was just completely took him out of the play. Absolutely electric to see. And we just saw the potential. And again, the Habs fans has given that love, saying, Laine, like, we recognize you, that you have that potential. And we also trust that you're going to be finishing off these type of plays because you're getting yourselves in those right type of positions, right? So an amazing beginning for Laine. To be honest, I would have been okay with even a slower start, getting the rust off, but we saw some very good flashes with Dach, especially as well. And the fact that he was shooting it early and often, again, like that's a big thing for him. Patrik Laine is going to score goals if he just shoots the puck. It's just mathematics. He's got that good of a shot. So leading the team in shots, in shot attempts is absolutely phenomenal. But I mean, like Marty giving this praise that he's always watching away from the puck. And then for him to grab his attention like that something special is kind of going on. I mean, this is all what it's really about being a fan of hockey.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Being a fan of the Habs is so good. And the crowd makes that moment what it is. We know Habs fans are smart. We know Habs fans are passionate more than any other fan base in the league. It was so crazy to see. But yeah, Jesse, I mean, I can't help but think, a couple of those one-timers he took, like he was very close. He missed the net on one. He healed the puck on one. He could have had another one. Like, I think he scores 2 goals if this is halfway through the season and he's warmed up a little bit and he's fully healthy, So can't wait to see what's next. Insane praise from Martin St. Louis. And yeah, I think the Patrik Laine hype train, well, it certainly left the station where we are gone and it's off and rolling, and I can't wait to see what's next. But Jesse, we got to get into another little topic here. And, Patrik Laine definitely, stole some Habs fans' hearts last night, but I don't think anyone did it more so. Well, maybe Lane Hudson, but still, maybe no one more so than Oliver Kapanen. We just have to talk about this because Oliver Kapanen is legit the real deal, and he is now forcing Montreal into what is seemingly an impossible decision. I'll play these highlights again. Like, this first play here, going 1v4, and then stripping Rasmus Ristolainen, a long-term NHL veteran, from the puck, then just controlling, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and his line with Heineman and Barré-Boulet, 2 guys who are likely to play the year in Laval, at least most of it, he's managing to just put the line on his back in a lot of ways. Now, the other guys were still phenomenal. It was a great pass from Heineman. Heineman had a great snipe earlier, but on both goals, Barré-Boulet pointed to Kapanen and said, "You created that," and it's very true. He looked absolutely phenomenal, and I also love how Habs fans realize this, even though Kapanen didn't have any necessarily super highlight reel plays. This dude is absolutely the real deal, and Jesse, it's causing a lot of people to call for Christian Dvorak's head, say, Dvorak looked way worse than Kapanen last night, and I can't disagree. So it's like, right now, I have Kapanen in that lineup. I have him making the NHL. We still got a lot of preseason games left to go, but what I will say is, if he keeps playing the way he did last night, I think Montreal's going to have a very tough decision to make, whether it means trying to panic and look for a trade for Dvorak, or maybe waive Dvorak like they did Armia. Again, I still think Dvorak's great, good locker room guy, solid in the faceoff dot, but Kapanen is trying to make himself inevitable right now.
And he definitely was, Oliver Kapanen, a lock for the team next year. But the fact that he's seriously getting himself in the conversation already, we still got some training camp to go, is quite interesting though. And you have to feel like he's got a solid chance. Like, I don't see, like, with a game that translates too well, I don't see him just kind of disappearing, right? Like, when you play good, sound positionally hockey, is obviously you put yourself in a good position, is the word again, to succeed. Just because you're in good places in the ice, where you can really affect things in positive ways, being dangerous with the puck in the offensive zone, not just wanting to give up, like holding on to it, waiting for the right play, looking dangerous, looking to make something happen, I think is the big thing. And, again, not to throw shade, something that we wanted more out of Christian Dvorak, a little bit more of that opportunist type of mindset in the offensive zone of really looking to make something happen, right? So, of course, we know we have to pay our dues. Dvorak has been a great part of this team for a long time, but Kapanen is bringing something, and it's Habs fans are really serious about this. Like, I can't believe to be hearing this much because we know how much we like hockey, and we know if we want to get a little bit more competitive, Habs fans just want the best players on the ice. The interesting thing to notice when we're kind of debating whether Oliver Kapanen is ready to make the jump to the NHL level is he is 21 years of age right now. So he's not super young. He felt himself even coming into camp. He said, I already felt like my game was kind of ready, but, now playing, he kind of even feels more so. So if anything, this is already helping to fuel an already confident young man. So for me, it's like that age is there, it can be about that time. That game is there as well. But the fact that he can play on the power play, the fact that he can bring the power, be on the penalty kill as well, rather, is things that really kind of separate him from Christian Dvorak.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, Dvorak, kind of had that pedigree of a defender, but then over the last year or two, it feels like he just hasn't been up to that same level. And again, I don't mean to put down Christian Dvorak, though I think some people probably will in the comments anyway. Kapanen looked like he did everything better than Dvorak last night. Maybe faceoffs, Dvorak's still a very good faceoff guy, like 55%. We'll see what Kapanen can do, but Jesse, you're absolutely right. You hit everything right on the head. Kapanen is creating opportunity. He's looking for that. He's stealing the puck. He's controlling the offensive zone. He's controlling the defensive zone. He's going to make this an impossible decision. Now, this video is recorded before Jake Evans gets his first start of the season on September 24th versus the Devils, so we'll have to wait and see what he does. But Jesse, at this point, let's make it happen. I want to see him on this roster, and I want you guys to comment down below. Make it happen. It's going to happen. We got to get Oliver Kapanen on the team. He's my new favorite prospect from this tournament. Not even tournament, preseason. I love Lane Hudson. I absolutely do. There's something about Kapanen that just gets me going. Oh, I love it, Jesse. Let us know down below your thoughts on all this stuff today. Will Oliver Kapanen make the lineup? We'd love to hear from you. That'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching so much every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.